Holy crap, you guys. What a great night for Arizona sports. What a great night for the Phoenix Suns. A crazy night for the Phoenix Suns. Holy cow, you guys. Welcome on in. First off, if you are watching along live, I do appreciate it because there's a lot of great Phoenix Suns content out there, especially after the game. And you guys are choosing to be here with me tonight, and I do appreciate that. Hopefully, we have better internet connection than when I did my pregame show earlier. You guys missed that. StreamYard was really acting up. Um, I did look into some troubleshooting things. It could potentially be my internet, but I'm still in the works of contacting StreamYard about the lags and all that that's been going on with the show. But you guys don't care about that. And we do have to start off on the right note before we talk anything Phoenix Suns, you guys. You guys know me. I am not the biggest baseball fan, never have been, probably never will be. But I have to give my respects and just the praise and the applause or whatever the word is to the Arizona Diamondbacks. You guys see I'm rocking my Suns colored D-backs hat. Truth is, you guys, like I said, I'm not a big baseball fan, not a big really, I'm just a big basketball fan at the end of the day, but I've always supported the D-backs, always supported the Cardinals, the Coyotes, et cetera, et cetera. And they are going to the World Series for the first time since 2001. And even though I was glued to the screen watching the Phoenix Suns, I had to tune in to the D-backs. I just had to. I think there was like 2 minutes left in the second quarter, and I just turned on the rest of the D-backs game and just kept flipping back and forth to watch this game. And I'm just so thrilled for all the real Arizona Diamondbacks fans out there. I'm thrilled for the Diamondbacks, you know, the players, the staff, fans, season ticket holders. I'm thrilled for Valley sports in general. Now, you guys know that I don't like to drink on the live shows, but tonight is a special occasion. We're going to change that. Don't worry, though. I got my trusty Sprite here, and I got some water over here, but I think tonight deserves a special drink. So shout out to my sister because I didn't have any alcohol on me. She gave me a couple shots. So this is to the Arizona Diamondbacks who are going to the World Series. Cheers. Let me know what you're drinking in the chat. Cheers. Ooh, goes down so smooth. All right, you guys. Let's really dive into it. Sorry, I got something in my eye. You guys know me. I have a new tradition on this channel. Unfortunately, I accidentally spilled some water on this, but I have a whole bunch of notes because holy cow, you guys, this felt like a tale of two halves. This game was nuts. Like, where do I even begin? Let me just take another sip of my Sprite and we'll really dive into it. Okay. Let's start off with the positives. And by the way, because I had a couple of comments during the preseason where people were like, "Oh, you're too negative, Suns Geek, and it's such a vibe kill when you're negative." I'm sorry for reacting to things that I see. So there is a negative segment. So for those of you who don't want the negativity, I will bring that up and you guys can mute me or whatever the case may be. I just realized too that during that whole Arizona Diamondbacks thing, I didn't have this little banner pulled up. So yes, the Diamondbacks are going to the World Series. We're off to a terrible start with this live show, but now let's talk about the Suns and Warriors. Let's react to Suns and Warriors. Okay. Again, we'll get to the negative stuff in a little bit, but I have a lot of notes here. First off, the very first Phoenix Suns points of this brand new season was a Nikola, or I almost said Nikola Jokic. We're off to a great start here, you guys. Yusuf Nurkic, screen and roll, bucket and one. Nurkic was great in this game, you guys, and we're definitely going to talk about him later. He also had a block on Kevon Looney, by the way. Devin Booker had that really nice post-up move where he posted up on Stephen Curry. He also drew the and one. And before that happened and during that happening, the Suns went on a 10-0 run. I think they were shooting like 8 for 13 or something like that during that stretch. Again, we're going to get to the negatives in a little bit. My notes are literally all over the place, you guys. There was that fun little sequence where Drew Eubanks, who I also thought was really good in this game, there was sort of a turnover. I think Drew Eubanks might have turned the ball over, and Gary Payton II had kind of an open lane, and he challenged Drew Eubanks. He went up for that high flying dunk. Drew Eubanks went up to challenge it. Probably should have been a foul. Not probably, was a foul on Eubanks. They didn't call it. It was a missed dunk. And then afterwards, Gary Payton II kind of dabbed up Drew Eubanks. That was a fun sequence right there. And there was also a couple good contests that Drew Eubanks had on specifically Dario Saric and Chris Paul, just contesting shots, putting his hands up, being active. Love to see it. I thought Drew Eubanks was really good in this game. Let's talk more about Nurkic. There was a pick and roll sequence with him and Devin Booker where Nurkic set the pick and roll, drove in, and then sort of moved Kevon Looney out of the way, which caused Devin Booker to kind of just slither in and have a nice, easy layup. There was a play where Devin Booker was being doubled. He passed it to Nurkic, who had the wide open three. Then Nurk had a backdoor cut the same, like a couple possessions later. Again, we're going to get to the negatives. I have notes all over the place, you guys. Jonathan Kuminga had a challenge also on Nurkic. I thought he played pretty good in this game throughout most of the time. Let me see here. I'm just kind of looking at my notes here. Okay. The Suns ended the first half on a 25-10 run, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit because there's more to that. And specifically why that happened was because the Warriors were missing a bunch of shots. Let's talk about Josh Okogie, who knows where we would be in this game without him. Who knows if we even would have won this game. I think when it really started going for Josh Okogie, because we all know what he can do on defense. I think when it really started going for Josh Okogie was when he had an and one off of a rebound. And I swear to God, when he had that rebound, there was 4 Warriors that swarmed him. Josh Okogie was excellent. And also, you guys, I know my notes are kind of all over the place. Devin Booker at halftime, by the way, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 for 10 shooting. Josh Okogie also had this one play where he cut to the basket. It was an assist from Yusuf Nurkic. That was a nice play. Suns go on an 8-0 run. The game was tied at 88. I think the Suns went on an 11-3 run within like 3 minutes of the game. And before we really dive into the negative stuff, because trust me, that's going to be a whole segment in itself, let me just pull up the numbers from this game. And we're going to react to some other stuff as well, you guys. But I do just want to react to some of the numbers here. I know that the second half wasn't the prettiest because it wasn't. And that goes for both teams. Like, even though I'm going to be a little negative in some segments, it really was a sloppy performance, sort of for both teams. But I don't think we should overreact to it too much. And we're really going to dive into why in a few minutes here. But we really shouldn't overreact to the second half of this game. Because I even tweeted this out, or I think I tweeted out, or I was talking to somebody like in a group chat, and I said, guys, this is game 1. Game 1 of an 82 long season. Devin Booker was immediately interviewed by Stephanie Reddy after the game and said, quote, "We're figuring it out. It's going to take time, you guys." And you know what? Before we really dive into the numbers here, I want to react to a great tweet here from PHNX's Gerald Bourget. You guys all know who they are. PHNX does great work. I consider them friends. They had me on their show. Let's just react to this tweet real quick. I think this kind of sums up the game just a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Now, keep in mind, this was about 4 minutes before the game actually ended, but he said, I don't think there will be too many nights where Kevin Durant, Eric Gordon, and Grayson Allen are combined 10 for 43 from the field and 2 for 15 from three. Who's the key player in this tweet right here, you guys? It's Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is not going to have nights like this every night. And I know that there was turnovers. I know that there was sloppy play and breakdowns and all that stuff. It happens. But Gerald is 110% right here. Guys, players are going to miss shots. And don't get me wrong, we're going to dive into some of the negative. The Suns deserve to have a certain negative segment because of the sloppy third quarter that we had. But at the same time, we could pick on the Warriors as well because they didn't really have a great fourth quarter, on their end. But this tweet right here, I think, really sums it up. And also this tweet right here from somebody who I think is a really good follow. Shout out to Matt Peterson. He used to work for the Phoenix Suns back in the day. He's a great guy. He said, Okogie, man, what a game when nearly all the shooters Phoenix acquired fell flat on opening night. Really think about that, you guys. I think this was, even though it's just one game out of 82, I think this was one of those nights where we truly, now it's still yet to be determined, but as of right now, you know the old saying, it's just one game, but the Phoenix Suns depth is showing already, in my personal opinion. Now, again, 10 games from now, I could be eating my words. You all could be making fun of me saying, oh, Suns Geek, you were overhyping this bench. No, like right now, we look like one of the deepest teams in the league. Big shout out to the QC for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. He says, he don't miss with the hats. Let's go D-backs and Suns. I appreciate you, QC. I remember when you were on my channel, what was it, like during the summer or whatever? That was a lot of fun, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Also, you guys, you totally do not have to, but if you want to, you can donate with a super chat. It helps keeps the lights on here. It buys me a coffee, whatever the case may be. And again, just really does help support the channel. You totally don't have to do that, but if you'd like to, I would appreciate it. You guys are all awesome. Shout out to my guy, Logan. Appreciate you being here, who says, replace Allen or Gordon with Beal, and tonight is a blowout. Thanks for bringing that up, Logan. Because have you noticed, we're nearly 15 minutes into this live show, and I haven't even mentioned Bradley Beal once. Yes, Bradley Beal did not play tonight. And I think Logan might be right. And he also might be right when he says Josh Okogie should have that 5th spot locked up. Don't worry, I'm going to have some comments on that, some kind of salty comments on that, but I do agree with you. Okay, I'm not trying to sound negative when I say this here, but possibly why Kevin Durant struggled, possibly, besides, having great defense on him and just some of the sloppy plays here and there and the turnovers. I haven't even talked about the turnovers, but we have to talk about the turnovers. I think one reason Kevin Durant might have struggled tonight is because Bradley Beal was not on the floor. Like, yes, Devin Booker was out there, and I haven't even given Devin Booker the attention he deserves tonight. But, like, think about it. Bradley Beal was not in the game. Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen were, like, ice cold throughout most of the game until Eric Gordon finally woke up and made a 3, like, kind of late in the game. Think about that. Like, when your teammates aren't playing that well, when two of your, what we assume is best shooters, especially Eric Gordon, are missing, Devin Booker can't carry the load all by himself. Even though Josh Okogie stepped up, you know what I mean? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, Bradley Beal wasn't on the court, and 2 of our role players weren't making shots, and Kevin Durant was already struggling because of the lockdown defense. So if Bradley Beal's on the court tonight, maybe this game is a blowout. Because look what happened in the first half, you guys. The game was like tied, I want to say around like the 40-something mark, or it was like close. The Warriors were kind of chipping back in. And let me just make sure I'm getting this right from my notes here. I think the Suns went on like a 25-5 run or something like that to close out the first half. The Warriors missed a whole bunch of shots, and it was like 63-48 or something like that. And there were spurts where the Suns offense just exploded onto the scene, and it happened so quickly. And by the way, because again, I'm not giving him enough credit as much as I should be. I'm not doing my job here as a content creator, as a Suns, whatever you want to call me. It was because of Devin Booker. And let's just segue into that. I know this live show's all over the place right now, and I do apologize for that. But first off, that's why I love these live shows, because they're all over the place. Devin Booker tonight played 37 minutes. He did all this in less than 40 minutes, you guys. And Booker had 32 points, 13 from 21 from the field. Didn't shoot well from three. He was 3 for 8. 8 assists. We're going to talk about those assists in a little bit. And 6 rebounds. Now, he did have 6 turnovers and 4 fouls. Although I think a lot of the referees either missed a whole bunch of calls or whatever the case may be. But Devin Booker was incredible, you guys. And what did I say at the very start of the show, you guys? Devin Booker in the first half, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 for 10 from the field. Maybe it's just Suns Twitter hype. But is Devin Booker seriously going for the MVP this year? Because I think, at least in that first half, he really kind of sent a message. But I mean this as a compliment, you guys. I really do. Even though it doesn't sound like it, I mean this as a compliment. Maybe it's because I've been watching Devin Booker for so long. It just doesn't surprise me. It's sort of like KD. It surprises me when he misses. It surprises me when he has a bad night. Like, we could really be, and I talked about this during the preseason, and I've seen a lot of this kind of trending. We really could be witnessing one of the greatest offenses in NBA history, in Suns history, and in recent memory. Even if Bradley Beal or KD or whoever's not on the court. That's just my personal opinion. We're almost 20 minutes in, you guys. We've got about 50 people in here. Hulk smash that like button. Crush the like button. You guys are all real ones. Like I mentioned, you guys, there is a whole bunch of great Suns content out there. I encourage you all to listen to them all. But the best way to keep supporting this channel is just to keep watching. Even if you're watching later, whatever the case may be, I do appreciate it. You guys are all amazing. Let me take a sip of my Sprite here, and we will continue on. Let's dive into some more stats here. I sort of mentioned Kevin Durant. Well, I didn't sort of mention him. I did mention him. He had a bad night. He had 18 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. And you're like, okay, Suns Geek, that's not that bad. Hold on. Give me a second here. 7 for 22 from the field. 7 for 22. And again, a lot of that is credited to just the Warriors playing great defense, this game being a little bit chippy, physical, a lot of turnovers. Oh, don't even get me started on the turnovers, you guys. I just want to make sure I'm reading this right. 19 turnovers. Excuse me. That Sprite's getting to me. 19 turnovers, you guys. Should we get into the negatives here? We're 20 minutes in. I understand if you guys don't want to listen to the negativity, but I do feel like we need to talk about it. Because as a content creator or a YouTuber or a podcaster, that is sort of my job. I promise not to spend too much time on this, but let's at least get it out of the way. Now, again, as you can see here, my notes are all over the place. Let's start with the negative, shall we? We need to get like a drop or something when it's a negative. All right. Where do I even begin? Okay. First negative I see on my notes here. The Suns had 7 turnovers in the first quarter. What does that remind you of? Kind of reminds you of like, last season. You know what I mean? We had 7 turnovers, 7 in the first quarter. What did Frank Vogel say recently? No, I take that back. Well, I guess it was Frank Vogel. But what did Kevin Durant say recently, too? If we don't turn over the ball and we do what we need to do, Kevin Durant and all them don't need to play 40 plus minutes a game. So what did we do in the first quarter? We turned the ball over. Frank Vogel and his coaching staff are going to chew them up for those turnovers. I get it. It's basketball. Turnovers are going to happen. Like in football, interceptions are going to happen. But 7 turnovers in the first quarter? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not trying to be too negative. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm sure Frank Vogel is having the same conversation with his team in the locker room. Let's keep going here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything because there was a lot. Okay. I sort of noticed this in the preseason, and let's get a little optimistic for a second. I'm sure the Suns will work on this. Stan Van Gundy kind of pointed this out. When teams are like running like a pin down, kind of pick and roll screen, I've noticed the Suns defense breaks down a little bit, especially on give and goes, especially when you have a point guard like Chris Paul, who we all know, who is running those pick and rolls. I've noticed that the Suns defense breaks down a little bit. It's not super concerning, but if I'm noticing it, especially in the preseason and a few times tonight, you know that the Suns coaching staff is writing that down. I've noticed on certain pick and rolls and give and goes and drives to the basket, the Suns defense kind of breaks down. Now, I'm not trying to sound like a know-it-all, but, and I do like this out of the Suns. I like how they swarm on defense. And I mean that they actually swarm. But when you do that, if the ball's moving, there's going to be nice, cuts to the rim and back doors. So trying to look at it optimistically, I'm sure Frank Vogel and his coaching staff will work on it. The Suns will work on it. It's the first game out of 82. Just had to note that, though. Before I continue with the negative, I did write down a couple of times. Frank Vogel did a great job of calling timeouts when the lead would, like, whether it was a 5-0 run or like an 8-0 run or whatever the case may be. Frank Vogel did a pretty good job with his timeouts. But let's keep going. The Warriors bench I thought was really good in this game. It was tied at 28 at the end of 1. The Warriors went on an 11-0 run. Now, that was before the halftime run that the Suns went on because the Warriors missed a bunch of shots. I think Kellen Olson had this tweet. The Suns had 6 points in 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, I believe that might have been kind of near the second quarter. There was a few times where the offense just kind of slowed down, like we froze. And as Sawbucks is saying right here, Monty Williams, quote, "What's a timeout?" For real. That's what I'm saying. Think what you want of Frank Vogel, but he did a great job with his timeouts tonight. There was one possession, maybe I'm looking too into this, but there was one possession where, for some reason, we decided to triple team Curry. I understand doubling him, but we triple team Curry. He passed it to somebody, and then they passed it to a wide open Klay Thompson in the corner. And then that next Warriors possession, Andrew Wiggins had an easy backdoor. And then I think, I forgot who tweeted this, but it was a 24-4 run after being down 15. The Warriors went on a 24-4 run after being down 15. Also, and I'm not joking here, you guys, the Suns were outscored 40-19 in the third quarter. 40-19. But in all fairness to the Suns, I did write this down. The Warriors had 30 points in that third quarter, by the way. A lot of that was because of free throws. The Warriors went 10 for 12 from the free throw line. And during that stretch, that was when Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen went ice cold. They were 0 for 10. I think they were combined 2 for 18 at one point. You know, turnovers were obviously a big deal for both teams. Steve Kerr talked about it before the fourth quarter. He said that the Warriors didn't foul in that third quarter. They got on defense and they started running and gunning. So honestly, that's all my notes right there. That's the end of the negativity segment. Again, sorry for the negativity. I just got to tell you guys how it is. But I got a lot more that we got to talk about, you guys. Let's kind of talk about the end of the game here. Specifically, just maybe the last like minute and a half. First off, again, I'm not giving enough credit to the players who deserve credit, but Josh Okogie was huge. Eric Gordon finally hit a couple of shots when he needed. But near the very end of the game, Booker assisted on, or he had 3 huge assists that led to 8 Phoenix Suns points to close out the Warriors. There was one play specifically where Booker was double teamed. Nurkic set a screen. Booker drove in, found Nurkic, and Nurkic just went up so aggressively and got the and one. That was kind of when I knew we won the game. And yeah, the Warriors had a couple opportunities, but they missed the shots. Speaking of Yusuf Nurkic, he really deserves a lot of attention tonight. First off, he had a double-double at halftime, and he finished the game with a double-double, 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. He was 5 for 8 from the field. I put out a funny tweet, or at least I thought it was funny, that Yusuf Nurkic is our point guard. And I tweeted that out specifically because there was a couple times in this game where he took the ball up the court. And as I mentioned, there was a lot of times where he would set a pick and roll and finish, or, you know, he would have an open 3, like that one play with Booker where Booker found him for the open 3. But just the fact that guys like Nurkic can take the ball up the court, and Yuta and Grayson Allen, they can take that pressure off of our big 3, even if it's just for like 10 seconds. Take the ball up the court, get the offense set, get Booker and KD in their spots. That's why even Nurkic on media day joked about being a point guard. I love it. But it wasn't just that, you guys. Remember when I was criticizing Nurkic for the terrible preseason game? I think, what was that, against the Lakers? He was so good tonight. So many key moments that he had in this game, whether it was just being physical or just getting shots, getting to the free throw line, setting hard screens, rim rolling. Nurkic was so good in this game, especially in that first half. Shout out to Yusuf Nurkic, man, our new center. This is our new big man for the foreseeable future. He's been in the league a long time. Like, he knows what he's doing. What did James Jones and Matt Ishbia and Josh Bartelstein say on media day? We traded for Yusuf Nurkic because of, quote, fit. And so far, Yusuf Nurkic looks like a fit. By the way, Nurkic did all of that in under 30 minutes. He did it in 28 minutes, 14 and 14 with 3 assists. He also had 1 block. Let's keep giving credit where credit is due. Josh freaking Okogie. Josh Okogie. I think Matt Peterson had that tweet earlier where he said Josh Okogie showed up on a night where our role players and some of our best shooters couldn't hit a shot. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said. 32 minutes for tonight for Josh Okogie, 7 for 9 from the field, 17 points, 5 boards. We all know what he does on defense. By the way, Josh Okogie and Jordan Goodwin just kind of being those defensive pests and presence and just locking up, playing 94 feet defense and all that really sort of was a game changer. But, and I wrote this down in my notes earlier. There was one play specifically where Josh Okogie, I don't know if he like caught it off of a rebound or it was a back door, but he caught the rebound and there was 4 Warriors that swarmed him. He went up and scored. Like, Josh Okogie, man. The Suns even tweeted out a video of him like hyping up the Suns bench after he got the and one. And look, I'm not trying to sound like a know-it-all here. I'm not trying to sound salty or bitter, but I remember early before the preseason, everyone was like, "Oh, Keita Bates-Diop is going to be our 5th starter." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, he might be a good player, but like he's not going to start over Josh Okogie unless Josh Okogie has like a massive fall off or he isn't working hard in practice." I'm like, he's not going to start. Because, again, with all due respect to Keita Bates-Diop, he didn't even play tonight. Just saying. I mean, again, in 10 games from now, I could be eating my words, but Josh Okogie is going to be our starter for at least for the foreseeable future. Do I even want to talk about Grayson Allen? Like, seriously. Do I really want to talk about Grayson Allen, you guys? Forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong, but DeMonkey79 says Allen Gordon Durant went 11 for 44 from the field, 3 for 16 from 3, and we still won? Not going to see too many games like that this year. Like, do I even need to talk about Grayson Allen? There was one play that bugged me, a couple plays that bugged me with Grayson Allen. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of my Sprite. Okay. We all know Grayson Allen has a bad history of, physical plays, controversial plays. But there was one play where like Curry was on the corner and like, it's hard for me to say if Grayson Allen did it on purpose or if it legit was an accident, but like Curry was in the corner. I think he was shooting a 3 and Grayson Allen, I don't want to say he pushed him, but he kind of like bumped him and there was the foul, but it was just a bad moment for Grayson Allen. And it was either before or after that play where like Grayson Allen just gave up on defense. He was putting up wild shots. And I even tweeted out, I was like, Grayson, what are you doing? Like, it was a bad night for Grayson Allen, y'all. He literally played 21 minutes, surprisingly only had 1 turnover, and he missed all of his shots. I don't know what happened with Grayson Allen tonight. Maybe it's just one of those bad games. Do me a favor, you guys, because I was going to tweet this out, but I totally forgot. In the chat right now, and I will try to read as many of them as I can. In the chat right now, let's play the game. It's just one game, but fill in the blank. It's just one game, but let's do that right now. And I'm going to tweet that out. Maybe I'll make like a separate video or whatever. Again, I'm not giving enough credit here to Drew Eubanks, who played 19 minutes. Now, had a few fouls, had a few turnovers. Only finished with 4 points and 8 boards, but he did have 3 blocks. And I mentioned that fun little sequence with him and Gary Payton II, and just him contesting, playing great defense. One thing that I think that Drew Eubanks is going to do all season, whether he's starting or coming off the bench, is he's always going to challenge. And he was doing that in the preseason. And I only remember like one pass, but he's sort of low-key a good passer. So Drew Eubanks, as I mentioned before, he's going to surprise some people. He's going to play some good minutes for the Phoenix Suns, in my opinion. Somebody else who's going to do, or excuse me, I can't talk. Somebody else who's going to play a lot of minutes for the Phoenix Suns tonight, Yuta Watanabe. Now, the stat sheet's not going to blow you away. Played 18 minutes. He had 8 points, 2 for 4 from 3, had 4 boards. But he did have 1 block. And I believe after that block, it was a 3-pointer that he made. But remember when I said that Drew Eubanks is going to challenge? every possession and play hard and compete. Yuta is that same way. He was sort of that spark, if you will, whether it was offensively or defensively. When our offense kind of froze and we were struggling and the Warriors were going on their runs, he was sort of that spark, if you will, the competitor that the Suns needed, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying we'd lose this game if he didn't play, but like his presence was felt, in my opinion. So shout out to Yuta. Even though he only played 3 minutes tonight, shout out to Nazir Little because we were struggling on offense. Frank Vogel subs him in. What does he do? Hits a three. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what he did after that, but he hit a three. I already talked about Eric Gordon. Yikes. 32 minutes, 4 for 16 from the field, 10 points. Jordan Goodwin, he was fine. Played some good defense. He got first quarter minutes. So shout out to Jordan Goodwin. Well, let's start the it's just one game segment here. Let me take a sip of my Sprite and we'll dive into these comments. Okay. Maybe we'll do this like every live show. The comment section's getting funny here. Let's see. Shout out to my guy Alphabite Music. Appreciate you being here, man. Hope you're doing well, by the way. It's just one game, but Booker is getting the MVP. Amen to that. Also, personal goals for Devin Booker to win a championship. I love that picture. I have to pull it up. It's beautiful. All right, continuing on with it's just one game, but Tony says the defense can be better. Absolutely. It's going to take some time though, but I do agree with you. Maybe it's because we were playing Steph Curry and the Warriors. Maybe it's because it was our first game, chemistry, if you will, or continuity, guys figuring things out. But I do agree with you. The defense could be a lot better. It's just one game, but we need to work on our turnovers. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, I'm not a betting man, but I bet you that Frank Vogel was chewing them out for the turnovers tonight. It's just one game, but Beal is already hurt. Oh my God. We need to do this segment more often. That's so good. It's just one game, but from this one game, it shows that what the Suns are capable of. Amen to that, Abraham. If they play without turning the ball over and without a starter. Let me read that first part again. But from this one game, it shows what the Suns are capable of. What did Frank Vogel say after our very first preseason game? Frank Vogel said, or I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, it shows how good, like, offensively we can be. He said something like that. And I like what Abraham said right there. Love seeing Booker's handles, BS called a smile instead of, complaining. I agree with you on that. I will say this, though. There was a play late, and maybe I need to go back and watch it, but I swear to God that, like, Kevon Looney, or maybe it was Jonathan Kuminga, like, didn't tackle him, but, like, Booker was shooting, and they kind of, like, collided, and he fell down. I was like, I probably would have said something if I was Booker, but I don't know. You're probably right. Shout out to my guy, Matt Boundy. Hope you're doing well, brother. He says, it's just one game, but Nurk seems like he is a better fit than Ayton. Exactly. It's just one game, but the team's defensive intensity and focus was excellent. That's a positive there from Nev. I hope I didn't say your name wrong or right, you know what I mean. I hope I didn't butcher your name. We got too many turnovers. Just one game, but Booker's going to be the best player or playmaker on the team. Suns were committing too many fouls. Watanabe's block was key. Exactly. Great defense leads to great offense. By the way, Yusuf Nurkic literally just tweeted out the Suns hashtag coming in hot, which, by the way, I don't know who decided to sign off on that specific hashtag, but okay. Moving on. Just one game, but we forced too many fouls. Yeah, how many fouls did we finish with? 22 fouls and 19 turnovers. Guys, let me get optimistic for a second here. Fouls are going to happen. You know, the refs are going to have it out for us, all that stuff. But I doubt that we're going to have many games with 19 turnovers. Sure, it might happen again, you know, but like, there's not going to be many nights where our bench is going to be, you know, shooting terrible, at least Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen. We're not going to turn the ball over 19 times, and we're not going to have 22 fouls. You know what I mean? And hopefully Bradley Beal will play next game, and we can really see what this team is made of. Tony says, it's just one game, but Book PG'd the crap out of that game. I sort of referenced this earlier, but Booker's 3 assists led to 8 points to close out the Warriors. I think we're really going to see a brand new Devin Booker this year, you guys. Tony says, I swear, I'm going to make a drinking game of you saying, let me get a drink of. Cheers to that, brother. Let me get a drink of my Sprite real quick. Can we also start a game of when I say one-man show and technical difficulties? Because that's like a Suns Geek staple. All right, let's see here. Rob says it's just one game, but the Diamondbacks and the Suns are winning the championship. Hell yeah, Rob. I love that. That is so good. Oh, man, that is so good, you guys. Is there anything I didn't talk about? Let's talk about the Warriors for a minute. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, get them in now, and then we'll probably wrap up the show. Because, by the way, if you missed it, I did a pregame show earlier. I did a YouTube short. I've had a great day, but I've had a long day. So probably going to wrap this up. I'll try to talk about the Warriors for a little bit. Before we talk about the Warriors, though, I tweeted this out. Follow me on Twitter, by the way. I don't know exactly what happened, but there was a fan, I'm assuming an older lady, who like was in the first row and like fell down or something, or fell out of her seat. They had to kind of stop the game. But what was awesome was when they got her up, you know, they were escorting her out, and she was awesome. She had like a towel, and she started like swirling it around. Everyone was clapping and applauding for her. I hope she's okay. Seemed like she was okay after that, but I just wanted to kind of address that. I filmed a little video and put it on my Twitter. By the way, you guys, follow me on Twitter. Just search Suns Geek and you'll find me. Follow me on Instagram, whatever popular, TikTok, and all those social media apps that I can't keep track of anymore. Let's talk about the Warriors just real quick. I don't know why, but I've always liked Kevon Looney. I've always thought that he was just a solid, serviceable center. And because of that, he's won like 4 championship rings or 3 rings or whatever the case may be. So shout out to Kevon Looney. I thought he played well in this game. Excuse me. Not the best game for Andrew Wiggins. He only had 10 points, 4 for 12 from the field. I can't believe I went this long without talking about former Phoenix Sun Chris Paul, who had 14 points, didn't shoot the best. He was 4 for 15 from the field, but he had 9 assists. There was a few moments where he was doing his Chris Paul kind of things, you know, bugging the opposing team and just being the pesky Chris Paul that he is. But this time he was doing it against the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker was on him, I believe, most of, if not all of the game. And I like that matchup because you know that when Chris Paul was part of the Phoenix Suns, they were going at it every day in practice. And if I know Devin Booker and Chris Paul, like I assume I know them, doesn't matter what team they're playing for, they're going to go at it if they're on the opposite teams. You know what I mean? So, oops, I didn't mean to take that comment down because that's like the best comment right there. But so I just wanted to give a shout out to Chris Paul, man. It's weird seeing him in a Warriors uniform, but you know, I was talking to my brother earlier and I was like, yeah, Chris Paul got traded. You know, he's part of the Warriors now. I was like, it was time to move on. Still kind of weird seeing him in a Warriors jersey, though, but I still think they are going to be pretty good. I don't know how good they're going to be. And I know I sound like a broken record here, but like, think about it. A top 10 point guard of all time, and take that from somebody who studied the history of the league. A top 10 point guard of all time is setting up the greatest shooter of all time. An honorable mention to Klay Thompson. And they didn't have Draymond tonight. So shout out to Chris Paul. Steph Curry was Steph Curry, even though he didn't have a great shooting night. He was 4 for 14 from 3, by the way. He got in foul trouble. Still finished with 27 points. That goes to show why he's one of the greatest shooters of all time. Super Dario. Remember Dario Sarge, you guys? 7 points, 7 rebounds. You know, one of those contests that Drew Eubanks had was on Dario, by the way. So shout out to Dario Sarge. And, you know, Moses Moody was pretty good. He had 11 points. Jonathan Kuminga had 12. He played hard. A lot of the Warriors' success is really going to come down to the role players and the bench, and obviously health. And I guess you could say that about the Suns too, but you know. All right, you guys. I think that's it. I don't really know if I have anything else. I guess real quick what we could do is we can go to Twitter before we get out of here and just see if Frank Vogel said anything. Okay, cool. So shout out to Dwayne Rankin. By the way, you guys, there's a lot of great beat writers and reporters and all that cover the Suns. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. I can't believe this. Okay. Do you guys remember? I don't know why. Do you guys remember the sort of joke, the inside joke between Suns fans with the winner's work? Do you guys remember that? Remember like last season or the season before when like the Suns would work out after a win? First, we got trolled for it. And then Suns Twitter did a great job of throwing that back in the faces of the people that were trolling us. Well, I kid you not, you guys. And Rob, I have to unfortunately take down your beautiful comment here. And yes, the Diamondbacks are going to win the World Series. And yes, the Phoenix Suns are going to win the championship. I kid you not, you guys. Shout out to Mark J. Spears, who tweeted this out, you guys. I can't believe that. I'm totally overhyping this, by the way, but he says, no rest for the victorious Suns. Are you guys seeing this? Look at this. He posted a video of the Suns. I'm going to full screen it. Winners work. The Phoenix Suns are back. NBA basketball is back. I can't believe I have to retweet this. This is so good, you guys. Winners work, baby. It is alive and well. We thought it was going to be retired, but nope. The Phoenix Suns winning and working is alive and well. Look at Yuta, man. Is that like Grayson Allen? There's KD. One of the assistant coaches looks like he's getting a lift in, or one of the trainers, whoever that guy is. This is why you guys subscribe to Suns Geek right here. For content like this. Am I right? There's Nurk, or is that Drew Eubanks? So good, man. The Phoenix Suns are winning and they're working. That is beautiful. I could watch that all day, you guys. All right. Before we get out of here, I know I said that earlier, but let's listen to Kevin Durant. Now, keep in mind, I don't know how good the audio is going to be here, and I'm listening to this for the first time here. So it could be terrible audio, could be really good audio. But this is Kevin Durant after the game. I think he's talking about Devin Booker here. So give me 1 second, you guys. We'll listen to Kevin Durant. Hopefully the audio's okay though, because sometimes like the, you know. All right, give me a second here, you guys. Okay. What is going on with my life here? Play the drinking game, guys. One man show here. All right, here we go. Here's Kevin Durant after the game.
Some of those memories real quick. But it was good to come in here and get to see the
You guys hear it okay?
W.
Curious, just looking at Devin. You told me before the game, like, we're gonna need him to be that guy. What was it like seeing him tonight?
Yeah, it was incredible. He started off just flaming hot, 15 points in the first quarter, and just got us going. Just kept us there the whole night. You know, we're gonna need that from him all season. Running the offense, making the great plays late, making those 3 assists late. You know, we're gonna need that going forward. So it's a good first win, and you know, I didn't shoot the ball particularly well. EG got some great shots. He didn't shoot as well as he wanted to, but our defense held us down, and we was able to get the win.
You had guys that hit huge shots. Okogie, Gordon. How big would that be moving forward for those guys that hit shots like that?
Yeah, it's gonna be huge. I like the trust that we had in them and making that pass, making those reads, and those guys knocked it down. You know, we talk about it every day. It's just being ready and being prepared when that ball comes you to make a play. And those guys came out there and made big shots. EG, after missing some open ones, some layups, some shots that he normally makes, just came down and hit that huge 3 right there.
KD knows ball.
Finish as well. It was a great game. I think defensively we was able to get stops. It was 100-99, and we didn't let them get the lead again. So our defense was on point.
KD knows ball. Can we listen to like the last 20 seconds? Listen to what KD says about specifically defense here.
Those guys came out there and made big shots. EG, after missing some open ones, some layups, some shots that he normally makes, just came down and hit that huge 3 right there. So, and then Nurk with the finish as well. It was a great game. I think defensively we was able to get stops. It was 100-99, and we didn't let them get the lead again. So
it was 100-99, and we didn't let them get the lead again.
Our defense was on point.
Our defense was on point, says Kevin Durant. And what's crazy, you guys, and I'm sure KD would even agree with this, is that the defense could be better. But I mean that sort of as a compliment. We're about to listen to what Frank Vogel's got to say, but like the defense could be better. Kevin Durant addressed it. Even the shooting could be better. And we still won. So let's listen to head coach Frank Vogel here. Again, big shout out to Dwayne Rankin for these clips and these videos. You guys know me. I like to give credit where credit is due. Let's listen to Frank Vogel here.
And playing more traditional point guard where he can, he's a threat to go into kill mode at any point. And, he has the savvy to read defenses and pick them apart with the pass, which was the beauty of this game. There was a lot of positives from this game, but that was probably the biggest one.
Curious, defensively, Kevin alluded to it at the end there, really holding them down at the end of the game. What you see defensively, not just the last couple of minutes, but the entire game.
Yeah, the effort, for four quarters was great. They got away from us a little bit in the third quarter with, we kept putting them through the free throw line. And for the most of the game, we had really good fouling discipline, absorbing contact, showing our hands, earning no calls, and we have to earn those.
Hold on. I want to go back real quick. Listen to what Frank Vogel says right here.
We kept putting them through the free throw line. And for the most of the game, we had really good fouling discipline.
We had really good fouling discipline. Despite 22 fouls throughout certain points of the game, sort of like Steve Kerr was talking about when the Warriors didn't foul at all, I believe, in the third quarter. Frank Vogel says that the Suns had really good fouling discipline.
Absorbing contact, showing our hands, earning no calls, and we have to earn those. But we didn't in that third. But, second and fourth quarter, 18 points for this, going against this team in this building. That's exceptional on the defensive end. First, especially for game one of these guys, learning each other and learning a new system.
The only thing I had is to follow up with Durant. Obviously didn't shoot it the way he would like. He talked about other guys, having his back and stepping up. And Josh Okogie, not only did he hit the huge 3, but he went 7 for 9, was active. Maybe just speak to Josh's performance tonight.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his game, as I've said many times. And he played as well as anybody on the floor tonight. And he's guarding Steph Curry. basically every minute that he's out there, chasing him around, using a lot of energy there, and still finds his way with his cuts, crashes, and drives, to impact the game offensively. Which is not always the case when you got to chase a guy like Steph. And to do all that, by the way, he had more than 4 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
Some of them, they didn't count or whatever, but he was a demon on the glass. And then obviously the big three, he really works on his craft, and he's an improved shooter, and he's going to knock down big threes for us all year.
By the way, that was Frank Vogel mostly talking about Josh Okogie, at least for that last part. I mean, Josh Okogie and even Jordan Goodwin are Frank Vogel kind of guys. You heard the praise that Frank Vogel just said about his defense and, quote, being a demon on the boards and hitting shots and improving his shot. By the way, Anthony, I really want to get to your comment because it's a great comment, by the way. But shout out to Frank Vogel, man. Guys, maybe I'm optimistic here. Maybe I'm a little crazy. But if Kevin Durant is not, how do I word this? If Kevin Durant's not too concerned about the defense, and even though Frank Vogel kind of said it was in certain stretches, Frank Vogel doesn't seem too concerned about the defense. I guess what I'm trying to say is on paper and throughout certain points of the game, we did struggle on defense. But if KD is not too concerned about it, and if Frank Vogel's kind of saying good things about it, maybe our defense is better than we think. And Frank Vogel kind of touched on it. It's just one game of 82. And we're still learning. We're still figuring things out. It's a brand new team. And I was talking about this all off season. Not only is it a brand new team, but think about it. A new coaching system, new philosophies, new offenses, new defenses. It's going to take some time. So before we listen to what Devin Booker has to say, and then we'll wrap up the show. Huge shout out to Anthony here for the great comment. Suns Geek. We should all be Suns Geeks this year. Amen to that. All of us should be geeking out about this team. They're going to change the league this year. I love that. I'm applauding. We should all be Suns Geeks this year. All of us should be geeking out about this team. They're going to change the league this year. I can't read. That was a great comment. Shout out to Jason for that great comment. All right, guys. We can listen to these post-game interviews and all that all day. Let's just listen to Devin Booker. He said something funny too, but this is Devin Booker after the game. And again, even though I already shouted him out, big shout out to Dwayne Rankin. Let's listen to what D-Book says. Maybe we'll read a couple more comments and then we will wrap things up. All right, here is Devin Booker after the game. Jason, I got to lower your, or not Jason, Anthony, I got to lower your great comment there. Let's listen to D-Book.
Find Okogie and Gordon and Nurk for huge shot. What was that like for you tonight?
Just trust building with the team. This is game one, and we understand that we have the depth, we have the talent all the way around, and just using that. I had it going in the first half, and we knew that they're going to throw some different type of defense at us, and they did that down the stretch. Credit Jo, credit EG, Nurk for finishing those plays, but this is a good win for us. I think a test like that, the first game, when we can see the energy sway and the game go back and forth, and then tighten it up down the stretch to get a win. It was big for us.
Clearly, you were ready to go right from the start. Well, what was that first quarter, first half like for you? Just with the toe and still going forward.
I'm not really too much worried about it.
That's good.
Complete when I'm back on the court, so it's been a long summer. I started losing confidence in myself, and I need to get back on the court. I feel better out there.
Last thing I had was, in the role you're in now, there's going to be turnovers. Like, it's just obvious because you're going to have the ball more than you've had it before. But how are you able to tonight just overcome that mentally and still be in attack mode and still looking to make plays?
Just understanding that, I was tired as hell. It's the first game, and You know, I have been out for over a week now with the toe, so this is my first time
Ooh.
getting back on the court, going up and down. So that first win was tough, but you know that'll build through the season, and you know we'll figure out spacing, and you know I'm gonna be turning the ball over 6 times a game.
Okay. I appreciate Devin Booker's honesty there. And I think we kind of knew that because Booker, I think, did he sit out the last 2 preseason games? I forget. But Booker said, I've been out for a week with the toe injury. But I want to re-listen to what he said at the very end here because I feel like it's sort of a trend. I wonder if they had this conversation in the locker room. Let's listen to D-Book, at least the last 20 seconds here.
You know, I have been out for over a week now with the toe, so this is my first time getting back on the court, going up and down. So that first win was tough, but you know that'll build through the season, and you know we'll figure out spacing, and you know I'm gonna be turning the ball over 6 times a game.
Okay, so Booker talked about spacing. Devin Booker again said it to Stephanie Reddy after the game. He said it to Dwayne Rankin just now. Figuring it out, you know, figuring out the spacing, and as Devin Booker said, not turning the ball over 6 times. And I guarantee that the Suns will not turn the ball over 19 times a game, because if they do, they deserve to lose a lot of games. And you know Frank Vogel won't allow that. Last tweet we're going to get to, you guys, and we're probably going to wrap up the show here because Josh Okogie just tweeted this. If I can find it, here it is. Pull it up real quick. Then we'll probably wrap up the show. Glory to be God always, says Josh Okogie. Shout out to Josh Okogie, man. As great as Booker was, as great as Nurkic was, as great as Drew Eubanks and Yuta were, Josh Okogie really did help us win the game. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, you guys. And on that note, I think that's it, y'all. Today was a great day. Today was such a fun day. Basketball is back in our lives. It's finally here. The 2023-24 season. By the way, you guys know I'm an NBA history guy. It's the NBA's 78th season. And not only that, as we celebrated earlier, the Arizona Diamondbacks are going to the World Series. You guys know me. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but processing that is huge. And I texted a whole bunch of my friends. I said, guys, we get the Phoenix Suns, the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals, the Coyotes, and who am I forgetting? All in October. This is the best time to be a Valley sports fan. It is the best. It is a great time to be a Valley sports fan, you guys. Shout out to the D-backs going to the World Series. But yeah, you guys, I think that's it. Stay tuned for more. I don't know if I'll do a live show tomorrow or today. We'll see though. I'm probably going to do some videos and all that. Maybe react to some stuff. Maybe kind of overanalyze this game. But either way, we will see you guys after Thursday, after the Lakers game. And then if you missed the pregame show earlier, Darth or John from the Suns Jam Session podcast invited me on the show Saturday. So we'll probably be doing like a collaboration stream again. So it'll be Suns Jam and Suns Geek on Saturday. I believe that's our home opener against the Jazz, I believe. So I can't wait for that. And a lot of things coming to you guys. Lots of videos, live shows, pregame shows. It's going to be amazing. Go D-backs, go Suns. God bless everybody. Stay safe out there, you guys. Be kind to each other. And try not to panic. You know what I mean? When players have certain injuries, or just relax, Suns fans. Everything's going to be okay. I promise. But I'm super excited, you guys. Stay tuned for more. Whether you're watching now, whether you're watching later, Hulk smash that like button. Please subscribe. Again, the best way to support the channel, you guys, is just to keep watching, because it literally does keep the lights on. I appreciate all the super chats. I appreciate all the great comments. You guys are all amazing. And Devin Booker, what is your goal for this season? Personal goals? To win a championship with a smirk. I love you guys. I'm out of here. God bless you guys. Stay safe. Peace out. And if it has to deal with the Phoenix Suns, I'm going to make a video about it. And as always, go Suns.
up, son?